Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will keep us alive under God's watchful eyes. Today we will be talking about biblical names starting with H, part 6. This part consists of 3 sections. This is section C. Hamutal, also known as Zedekiah. Zedekiah, also known as Tzidkiyahu, was the 20th and last king of Judah before the destruction of the kingdom by King Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylon. His birth name was Mattanyahu, meaning gift of God. After the siege of Jerusalem in 597 BC, Nebuchadnezzar II deposed King Jeconiah and installed his uncle Mattanyahu as king of Judah, changing his name to Zedekiah in 2 Kings chapter 24. The prophet Jeremiah was his counselor, yet he did not heed the prophet, and his epitaph is, "He did evil in the sight of the Lord," in 2 Kings chapter 24 and Jeremiah chapter 52. William Albright dates the start of Zedekiah's reign to 598 BC. Edwin Thiele gives the start in 597 BC. On that reckoning, Zedekiah was born in 617 or 618 BC, being 21 on becoming king. Zedekiah's reign ended with the siege and fall of Jerusalem to Nebuchadnezzar II, which has been dated to 587 or 586 BC. The defeat of the Neo-Assyrian Empire in 612 BC at the Battle of Nineveh by the Neo-Babylonian Empire caused mayhems that led to the obliteration of the kingdom of Judah. Egypt, concerned about the new threat posed by the Babylonians, moved northward to support Assyria. It set on the march in 608 BC, moving through Judah. King Josiah attempted to block the Egyptian forces and fell mortally wounded in battle at Megiddo. Josiah's younger son, Jehoahaz, was chosen to succeed his father on the throne. 3 months later, the Egyptian pharaoh Necho II, returning from the north, deposed Jehoahaz in favor of his older brother Jehoiakim. Jehoahaz was taken back to Egypt as a captive. After the Babylonians defeated the Egyptians at the Battle of Carchemish in 605 BC, Nebuchadnezzar II besieged Jerusalem. Joachim changed allegiances to avoid the destruction of Jerusalem. He paid tribute from the treasury, some artifacts from the temple, and some of the royal family and nobility were taken as hostages. The subsequent failure of the Babylonian invasion into Egypt undermined Babylonian control of the area, and after 3 years, Jehoiakim switched allegiance back to the Egyptians and ceased paying the tribute to Babylon. Because of this, Nebuchadnezzar II invaded Judah again in 599 BC and again laid siege to Jerusalem. In 598 BC, Jehoiakim died during the siege. He was succeeded by his son Jeconiah, also known as Jehoiachin. Jerusalem fell within 3 months. Jeconiah was deposed by Nebuchadnezzar, who installed Zedekiah, Jeconiah's uncle, in his place. According to the Hebrew Bible, Zedekiah was 21 years old when he was made king of Judah by Nebuchadnezzar II in 597 BC. This is in agreement with the Babylonian Chronicle, which states the 7th year, in the month, Kislev the king of Akkad mustered his army and marched to Hamutal. He encamped against the city of Judah, and on the 2nd day of the month, Adar, he captured the city and seized its king. A king of his own choice he appointed in the city, and taking the vast tribute, he brought it into Babylon. The kingdom was at that time a tributary to Nebuchadnezzar II. Despite the strong arguments of Jeremiah, Baruch ben Zariah, and other family and advisors, and ignoring the example of his older brother Jehoiakim, Zedekiah entered into an alliance with Pharaoh Hophra of Egypt and revolted against Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar responded by invading Judah in 2 Kings chapter 25. Nebuchadnezzar began a siege of Jerusalem in December 589 BC. During this siege, every worst woe befell the city, which drank the cup of God's fury to the dregs. In 2 Kings chapter 25 and Lamentations chapter 4. After laying siege to the city for about 30 months, Nebuchadnezzar finally succeeded in capturing Jerusalem in 586 BC. Zedekiah and his followers attempted to escape, making their way out of the city, but were captured on the plains of Jericho and taken to Riblah. There, Zedekiah saw his sons put to death. Then his eyes were put out, and he was loaded with chains and carried captive to Babylon. In 2 Kings chapter 25, Jeremiah chapters 32, 34, 39, and 52, and Ezekiel chapter 12, where he remained a prisoner until he died. After the fall of Jerusalem, Nebuchadnezzar sent Nebuzaradan to destroy the city. It was plundered and razed to the ground, and Solomon's temple was destroyed. Only a small number of vine dressers and husbandmen were permitted to remain in the land, in Jeremiah chapter 52. Upon the fall of Jerusalem, the former kingdom of Judah was absorbed into the Neo-Babylonian Empire and recognized to become Yehud province. Nebuchadnezzar transferred the administrative center from Jerusalem to Mizpah and appointed Gedaliah ben Achim as governor of the province, under the watchful eye of a Babylonian guard. In 2 Kings chapter 25 and Jeremiah chapter 40. On hearing this news, all the Jewish that were in Moab, Ammon, Edom, and Aram Damascus returned to Judah in Jeremiah chapter 40. However, the subsequent assassination of Gedaliah led most of the population of Judah to flee to Egypt for safety in 2 Kings chapter 25 and Jeremiah chapter 43. In Egypt, they settled in Migdol, Tahpanhes, Noph, and Pathros in Jeremiah chapter 44. The Babylonian Chronicles give 2 Adar 16th of March 597 BC as the date that Nebuchadnezzar captured Jerusalem. At that time, Nebuchadnezzar deposed King Jeconiah and installed Zedekiah, Jeconiah's uncle, in his place. Zedekiah's installation as king by Nebuchadnezzar can therefore be firmly dated to the early spring of 597 BC. Historically, there has been substantial disagreement over the date when Jerusalem was captured the second time, and Zedekiah's reign came to an end. There is no dispute about the month. It was the summer month of Tammuz in Jeremiah chapter 52. The problem has been to determine the year. It was noted above that Albright preferred 587 and Thiele advocated 586, and this division among scholars has persisted until the present time. If Zedekiah's years are by accession counting, whereby the year he came to the throne was considered his 0 year, and his first full year in office, 596, was counted as year 1. Zedekiah's 11th year, the year the city fell, would be 586. Since Judean years were measured from Tishrei in the fall, this would place the end of his reign and the capture of the city in the summer of 586 BC. Accession counting was the rule for most, but not all, of the kings of Judah, whereas non-accession counting was the rule for most, but not all of the kings of Israel. The publication of the Babylonian Chronicles in 1956 yielded evidence that the years of Zedekiah were measured in a non-accession sense. According to this method, 597 BC, the year Zedekiah was installed by Nebuchadnezzar, according to Judah's Tishrei-based calendar, is considered to be year 1 of Zedekiah's reign. Therefore, the fall of Jerusalem in his 11th year would have been in year 587 BC, or in the summer of 587 BC. This was the biblical Names Starting with H, Part 6. Please stay tuned for Part 7 with a continuation on Hamutal's story. If you like these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Adonai Nisi, the Lord, is our banner. God's blessings be upon us all.